Mr. Herman, that client of yours is an ill-tempered beast in the morning.
Only after she's had her coffee.
Coffee? She's guzzling brandy, and it's only 8:30. Who starts drinking before 10 a.m.? I'm taking that offer from live television. Tally-ho.
Aren't you ashamed exiling poor Harry to live television?
He made a remark I didn't like.
Like?
Like I'm putting on weight.
Well, so you are. This doesn't help.
Now, don't you start in.
All right, you start in. What's wrong?
Nothing.
I can't figure why you're on the jug. You've got everything to make you happy. You're box office, you're beautiful, you're single. Every married man in town is trying to date you. Your next picture's an epic. Do you realize that every actress in Hollywood would give her Sunday uplifts to play the White Virgin of the Nile? A controversial bestseller? What troubles can you possibly have that warrant 90-proof drowning? Now, don't cry, honey. You haven't even seen the screenplay of The White Virgin of the Nile. I talked to 4 of the screenwriters, one of them who'd actually read the book, and he told me they've only changed the last 200 pages of the original story. Now, honey, please. You're still untouched in the script. You've never seen a man. You don't even know what a man is.
I'm gonna have a baby. Oh.
Goodbye, Whitey the Virgin. Goodbye, 10%. Goodbye, Bel Air Mansion. Goodbye, Diners Club membership.
Oh, stop mumbling. You're my agent. What do we do?
Don't say we. Does anybody else know about this?
Only you.
Only me. Only me. And since when have the birds and the bees changed their modus operandi?
Oh, my husband was killed.
You're married?
That's not very funny.
Well, when did you get married? Of course, if it's all legal, you can still play the White Virgin. It'll just be a tougher acting job, that's all.
That's right. Because I don't have a marriage license.
What?
Oh, I don't remember where I was married. It was somewhere in Mexico, that's all I know.
Mexico? You mean that publicity junket to Acapulco?
That's it. Then I met Carlos. He was a handsome bullfighter. It was one of those romantic full moon nights like we have back home in Midvale.
Back home in Midvale, Indiana, they don't have bullfighters.
And no tequila. And that's what did it. So, when Carlos suggested we get married, it sounded like a good idea. We drove to a little place. I don't remember getting there. All I remember is waking up the next morning back at Acapulco with a terrible hangover.
Think, honey, think. What? Try and remember where you went. I'll fly down and make a photostatic copy of the license.
I can't remember. It's a blank.
All right. So you woke up hungover.
And we realized we'd made a mistake. We decided to have the marriage annulled after the bullfight that afternoon. But Carlos never came back from the bullfight. So I tore up our marriage license and came home. That'll be for me. Tell them I'll be right there for my last scene in pictures.
She'll be right there. Oh, good morning, sir. It's the chief. Yes, Mr. Rumson. A press conference announcing Carla as the White Virgin of the Nile. Uh-huh. Both Luella and Hedda will be there.
I'll come wearing my maternity dress.
I'm afraid Carla won't be able to make it. You see, she's so thrilled about playing this great part that as soon as she finishes retakes today, she's going into seclusion. How long ago was Acapulco?
4 months ago.
She'll be away 5 months, sir. Yes. So as to get into the proper White Virgin mood. Well, thank you, sir. Goodbye. Now, you go away, let your hair go natural, take the caps off your teeth, take the padding out, and no one will know you.
What happens 5 months from now, fast-thinking agent?
Have your baby in some out-of-the-way maternity home.
And what happens after my baby is born?
Well, you leave it somewhere, and then when the picture's finished, you adopt it.
Leave my baby somewhere. Oh, now, I may not have been much of a wife, but I'm going to be a terrific mother. I'm not leaving my baby with any strangers.
Oh, not strangers. You leave it in Midvale with your father.
Papa's worse than a stranger. He's had nothing to do with me since I left home.
There's your sister, Sandra. What about her? She's coming out here for a visit.
I can't trust Sandy. She's too young. And besides, she's always been jealous. Because the boyfriend she liked was crazy about me. Clayton. Clayton Poole.
Clayton Poole.
Clayton is the one person I can trust.
Oh, thanks. That's nice. After I've been practically an obstetrician to you.
Oh, I trust you, Harold. Fasten me up. But Clayton really cares about me. Why, if it hadn't been for Clayton, I wouldn't have had the courage to enter the Midvale Milk Festival where the studio discovered me.
Oh, yes, I remember. Miss Butterfat of 1955.
And he's always wanted to be a father. He'll take wonderful care of my baby.
Well, we'd better call this rustic up. What's his number? We'd better call him up and tell him he's expecting. Give him a chance to lay in a stock of cigars.
I can't call back there. You don't understand what a small town is like. And believe me, Midvale is a small town. There isn't much to Midvale, except a few stores and buildings around the old town square. Clayton and I used to meet under the statue of the hero of Midvale. I remember how Clayton always looked up and told me how someday he was going to also become a hero.
What's his number? I'll call him right away.
If Clayton ever received a long-distance call, Miss Menifee, the telephone operator, would blab it all over town.
So we'll send him a letter.
Clayton never receives any mail. No, a letter to Clayton would cause talk.
Are you sure this noble character still lives in Midvale?
Clayton lives on Euclid Street in a remodeled carriage house. And the last I heard from my kid sister, Sandy, Clayton was working for Mr. Wright, who owns the Midvale television store.
How's it now, Mrs. Van Cleve?
Just a moment, Clayton. We have a new TV, darlings. Oh, now, don't you be impatient, sweetie. Clayton,
Yeah, Mrs. Van Cleve?
it's still snowing.